Hello and welcome, everyone. I am so thrilled and delighted and honored to have all of you here. I'm Lynn Sanders, a story empowerment coach and president and founder of Difference Makers Media, where it's my mission to help empower, inspire, and transform lives through your stories. And today I have a very special program to give you so that you can learn how to make a bigger difference through your stories. So before we start, I would like you to take a moment and share how you're feeling about sharing your stories. Could be nervous, excited, thrilled, but feel comfortable in sharing your thoughts. Our program is called Transforming Purpose into Prosperity, Mastering the Power of Storytelling. And yes, there is power in your story. There's power in your words. And you're going to learn how to tap into that today to make a bigger difference. That's what I'm all about. So first, let's ask ourselves some important questions. Do you feel like your voice is getting heard? Yes or no? You can write in the chat or just think it to yourself. Do you know how to craft stories that build impact? And do you feel your stories are making a difference? You know, it's so easy to feel like we're the world's best kept secret, but your stories can make a difference if you know how to craft, tell, and share them well. And I've been doing that for 40 years, and I'm excited to share what I've learned with you today. Let's face it, we all only have one chance to make a great first impression, and your words have power. So you want to be aware right now how to master the power of storytelling. And that's what we're going to do. Before I go further, I'd like to share my story with you and speak from my heart. Even though I have all these different credentials, I'm a 3 times best-selling author, an award-winning writer, a media host, a video producer, a blue ribbon ambassador. I've written a nationally award-winning patient safety film that saved lives. I've also been a lyricist, and I've helped organizations double their memberships, attract 6-figure donations, and increase their support, all through storytelling. But it wasn't always that way. I'm going to stop my share so I can speak to you from my heart. Thank you for listening. You know, as a young child, I often felt that my voice wasn't being heard. I felt like my brothers were favored more than me. And so I felt like I had to prove myself. I knew inside that I had a gift for telling stories. And so I wrote poetry, and sometimes they won awards. I captured stories as the news and feature editor of my school paper, and I ended up, after graduating college, getting a job as a professional writer and director of client services at a commercial music company. And it was there where I learned how to write stories with a marketing focus. I wrote live trade shows for Fortune 500 companies like Johnson Johnson and Keebler and Reynolds Aluminum. I wrote commercials that touched lives, and it was a thrill to hear my words on the air. And I also wrote lyrics. Especially, I loved hearing Lou Rawls sing my lyrics for the WGN TV commercial of Chicago's very own. And then I decided after about 7 years to go on my own as a freelance writer, where I worked on all types of projects, from marketing materials and ads to video scripts and newsletters and speeches. But then on December 16th, 2004, my world turned upside down. It really fell apart. My main pillar, my angel on earth, my mom, suddenly passed away from a heart attack, and I didn't know how I was going to go on. Inside myself, even though I'm happily married and I have 2 wonderful sons, I kept thinking negative thoughts. I thought, how can I stand this? I can't go on. I don't even know if I want to live anymore. I couldn't imagine life without my mother. And as a result of those negative thoughts, those negative words I said to myself, I had physical repercussions. I got severe back pain and no doctor could help me. I was led to an energy healer who actually helped heal me. And he said powerful words that I will never forget and that could also touch your life too. He said, Lynn, how do you choose to live? You could be alive on the outside and dead on the inside. How do you best want to honor your mother's memory? And with those words, I knew my mom would never want me to live in the doldrums. I wanted to honor her memory by making a difference and helping empower other people who are making a difference through their stories. And so I've made it my mission now for over 20 years to focus on empowering, inspiring, and transforming lives through shining a light on people making a difference. Because I know from personal experience the power of our words. So that's why I'm so passionate about this. And on the flip side, I'm also passionate about positive stories because I'm aware of the negative media that's bombarding us all at the soul level. And whether we realize it or not, words can hurt as well as heal. So I really want all of us to focus on what we can do today. And you're going to learn steps of how to transform your stories into powerful words. I'm going to go back to my screen. And I wanted to share with you a picture of my mom. See all that love just pouring out of her. That was on my 40th birthday. She was the why. She still is the why. She's still with me today in her spirit. And so I want you to think for a moment of what motivates you. Why do you do what you do? What drives your passion? And also what gets you frustrated? I shared mine. On this picture, you see I'm walking down a rickety ladder into a boat. Our family volunteered on 3 healthcare missions in Ecuador with Causes for Change. And I helped them get their stories out, both in the newspaper and getting donations so that they can make a bigger difference and save lives. Each of you are here for a reason, and I'm so honored to have you here. So I want you to go from your heart and either write down in the chat or on a paper, what is your why? And now let's even talk about, well, why is storytelling so important? Storytelling has been proven to build engagement because we connect with one another from our hearts first, and stories connect us from our hearts. Stories also make us memorable. Science has proven that people remember stories 22 times more than facts or figures. So if someone's going to just throw facts or figures at you, you won't remember them as well as stories. Stories also build trust and credibility because when people have good things to say about you, then people trust you more. And also you can share your stories from your heart. And last but not least, I have seen how stories increase revenue. And that's the bottom line that everyone wants to have more income coming in or more funding. And we can do that together through storytelling. On the left, that's my husband. And it was a joy when he was donating his time to save kids' lives by doing dental work in Ecuador. And on the right, that's how I envision all of us together. We're sharing from our heart, and that creates a positive ripple effect in the world that makes a difference. Yes, we all have a story to tell, and the question becomes, what difference do you want to make? So I'd like you to imagine that you're in the future now, looking back at this time in the present, and think about what difference do you want to make? If you feel comfortable, please write in the chat 3 things, or even 1 thing. I'll tell you my focus, the difference I want to make is I want to empower more people making a difference through shining a light in their stories. I'd like to empower at least a couple thousand people, at least. And I know that that can happen through storytelling. Here's our agenda. First, how our inner stories affect our results. Next, what are the storytelling keys that you need to know to craft compelling stories? Where to leverage your story, how to accelerate your impact with AI, and then the next steps you can take to catapult your success. And as I said earlier, I'm also going to be giving you a free gift when you stay to the end of this program, so you're going to be able to have more tools you need. This is one of the most important lessons I learned in storytelling, and that is the power of our inner story. What is our inner story? Our inner story are the words we say to ourselves every single day. Years ago, I got certified in mindset mastery, and I learned that most of our thoughts are negative. We default to the negative. We hear negative stories on the media, and we naturally think that way. But we can choose our thoughts. So you see on the outcome, if we choose our thoughts to be negative, we're going to have negative feelings that result in negative actions that end up with negative results, like my back pain. Or we can choose positive thoughts, thinking how special we each are and how grateful we are to have this opportunity to come together and learn and how we all make a difference. And with those positive thoughts, We're going to have positive feelings, which result in positive actions and get positive results. So that is the most important thing I'd like you to remember, is that your story matters, your words matter, and your inner story affects your outer story to get results. Now let's turn to, what are the 4 storytelling keys you need to know to craft your story to get results? First, you've got to know your target audience. Who do you serve? I had the pleasure of actually meeting Zig Ziglar, the great motivational speaker, and he said you can get everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. But you need to know who are those other people. So focus on a specific target audience. And mine is difference makers, cause-focused entrepreneurs, and nonprofit leaders. Then the second key is, what is the problem that you solve? And what's the problem your clients are solving? So I'm going to say that in this particular case, and make sure you're muted, the most important thing here for Jackie Reed, the founder of Westside Health Authority, who I worked with for a number of years as her publicity consultant, was getting more funding. And she knew she needed to raise awareness about how her nonprofit, Westside Health Authority, was doing great work in the community, improving health care, giving kids a place to go to after school, providing jobs, and even helping ex-offenders transition positively into the environment. So I wrote regular stories that went out into the media and got on radio, TV, and print. And as a result of one of those stories, which happened to get on the front page of the Sunday Chicago Tribune, her organization got an award from Mayor Daley, who gave them a $100,000 donation towards one of their programs, and it helped her grow her company. In fact, more recently, if you'll notice on the right, Chicago even named a street after her, which I think was wonderful. There's a Jackie Reed Street on Chicago's West Side, which is right across from her office. That made me very excited. So besides addressing what's the problem, you want to also know what's the solution. So the solution I provide is crafting stories. That means story coaching, telling stories, which is writing and speaking and interviews, and sharing stories. In this case, I was interviewing the founder of Q College with her daughter who is deaf, Rachel. Q College is a way of making every sound understandable using 8 hand shapes for all consonants and 4 positions around the mouth for all vowels, so deaf children can excel in literacy and learning. And as a result of this interview, she's gotten over 1,000 views, and there's an association of speech and hearing and language that's now adopting cued speech into their curriculum for hearing loss professionals, because they recognize the power of cued speech, which can be used to help deaf children excel. I was very excited about that. And also her executive director found out about the organization through this interview. So you never know what good can come from your stories. The 4th key is, what results do you achieve? I've written books. I've written and helped produce a national award-winning patient safety film, as well as just last December, I helped tell the story of a man who has been honoring Dr. King's memory, Reverend Clyde Brooks, for 55 years, and he wanted help in getting more attendees at his event. So I helped him tell a story, both in writing it for magazine articles, as well as interviewing him. And we created video shorts, and video is very powerful because more and more people watch video than read. And we posted them all over social media. So as a result of those stories, he not only increased having more attendees at the dinner, but he also got more contributions. Great result. So remember those 4 keys: audience, who's your audience, what's the problem you solve, the solutions you provide, and finally the results. Now, once you've got all that together, the crafting and telling of your story, now you need to share it, leverage your story. The more people that hear about it, the better. Everybody is aware of social media, but there are special techniques you want to be aware of when you use that social media to make a bigger impact. So you want to tell your story on your website, of course. You can use webinars and networking to tell your story. And very importantly, you want to have a YouTube channel. How many of you have a YouTube channel? You can say yes or no or write it down. I want to tell you why YouTube is so important. Today, 1 billion hits are on YouTube every single day. 1 billion hits. Can people find you on YouTube? Is your video being noticed? If you don't have a YouTube channel, you're making it hard for people to find you. More people watch videos than they read. And I love reading and writing, but I also recognize that I want to leverage my time by putting my content on video and on YouTube. So that's what I would highly recommend. You can also have a podcast, create ebooks, as well as do blogs and be a guest on other people's interviews. I want to also point out another important thing to know about social media. It's important not only to share your stories on social media, but to engage with other people so that they know you care about them. In fact, I would highly recommend that you comment, like, and share. Commenting is a deeper way to engage with people on social media. The other thing you can do is decide you want to be a best-selling author. And I said, yes, decide it, because you can choose your thoughts. So I am a best-selling author of 3 books because I made it my purpose to do that. And this particular story shines a light on the co-founder of the International Crane Foundation, George Archibald, who has been saving the world's cranes. I met him on a video shoot, and off camera, he told me that he had been friends with a rare whooping crane named Tex, born in Texas, who didn't believe she was a bird. She thought she was a person. Yes, that's what happened. I didn't believe him at first, but it's true. And he danced with her for a period of 6 years, which ultimately helped her lay a fertile egg and save the whole species. So you can find that on Amazon. The book has continued to help raise awareness and bring in more people to the International Crane Foundation. And it also gives me speaking opportunities too. So there's a lot of power in your story. But it's also natural for all of us to feel a bit, I think, overwhelmed with all the noise of everything going on in the world. And I'm sure that many of you have heard of AI, artificial intelligence. But remember this, AI is a tool, it's not the boss. You get to be the director of AI. And AI now has writing tools, image tools, video tools, even helping write your own book through AI. So I wanted to let you know that you can use AI effectively. And if you'd like, after this program, I'm happy to give you some further tips on a source where you can get up to 50 different AI tools in one place to help you accelerate your results. So imagine going from this, and these were all created with AI, if you didn't guess that already. Even my picture was an AI one. Going from overwhelmed and nervous, anxious, to this, where you're able to speak and tell your story with ease. So this is my first gift for you today. It's a Publicity Essentials checklist. You don't need to take out your credit card. Go to lynnsanders.biz, and you'll be asked to just put in where you're coming from, country, and you can check that you're a learner. It's a source where you can get free lessons on any content, and I have my free Publicity Essentials checklist. Why would you need this? You'll need it because you want to not only craft and tell your story, but you want to share it effectively. And now it's time to think about diving deeper and stop being the world's best kept secret. I know I've taken a lot of programs, but I've often needed personal coaching and help to move forward. And that's why I want to offer you the opportunity to get involved with a special program with my help. And it's under AskLynnSanders.com. As you could tell, I'm very passionate about getting out positive stories. And so I want to dedicate my time to helping you build your influence, your impact, your connections, and your revenue. Because I believe that together we each can make a positive difference and do more. This is called Craft Your Story for Success. It's a 4-part video program with a module each on crafting, telling, and sharing your story, as well as a bonus video on how to use your networking to become more effective at storytelling. There's also online materials and templates and a story blueprint, because after you've thought of a story, you still need to know the beginning, middle, and end, how to craft it strategically. So that's in this as well. But I don't want to give you even more than that. And that's why I'm including a 60-minute strategic coaching session with me, so you can use what you learn in the video modules and be able to get results. And I decided to throw in a bonus because I really feel strongly about the need to get out more positive stories. So if you decide to take action today, I will also add an extra 30-minute one-to-one coaching session. Whether you want to use it at the beginning or the end, it doesn't matter. But my focus is to help you get results as quickly as possible. This program is valued at $800, but I'm going to offer this to you. I am offering it to you for $297. You'll get the 4 video modules, the online materials, the templates, the blueprint, and my personal coaching for that. So just go to AskLynnSanders.com where you can learn more and register. You know, this is one of my, before I go any further, I want to just share with you that we all have stories to tell, but sometimes people don't believe us. So I would recommend, whatever you do, get testimonials from other people. Get their stories about you. So here's a few testimonials. Doyle Davis said that my branding ideas were so powerful that I was able to equip him with a new language that will be everlasting in all his future undertakings. Susie Pruden, who's a best-selling author and co-founder of Itty Bitty Publishing, someone I adore, she said that my message was clear due to her guidance. I interviewed her. She said, I highly recommend working with Lynn, and she makes a difference. Hessie Siegel, who is an expert networking person, said Lynn Sanders teaches people how to bring their stories to life, to impact listeners to take action. Lynn is a master at what she does. And this is one of my favorite sayings that Jane Goodall started saying, we all make a difference. You get to choose what kind of difference you want to make. So I highly recommend to each of you to recognize the power of your words, the power of your stories. Yes, you do make a difference. Your words matter. So you get to choose. And I would love to have you take action right now and choose to make a bigger difference by getting the help that will make you a difference maker known by people all over the world.